In Game 1, Canada's defense led them to victory. Score! Hamilton shot from the line. The Russians responded with some major pushback, exploiting Canada's defense to take Game 2. Some pressure and a turnover. Score! Now the pressure is on the home side, but the Russians are ready as well. Game 3 of the Canada-Russia Challenge is next.
There was two different storylines in the first two games of this series. Canada victorious in Game 1, Malcolm Subban outstanding in net in the late going, and of course in Game 2, Kirill Kapustin, a hometown boy with a hat trick, and that is how we are tied 1-1 in the series. Now for Game 3 here in Halifax. Hello everyone and welcome to the Metro Center in Nova Scotia. John Bartlett alongside Craig Button, Dennis Back, Mike Johnson, Mark Masters here as well. It really was a tale of two stories in the opening two games of this series, Craig, with Canada getting the early jump, but then the Russians responding in a big way in Game 2.
Yes, they did, and Canada did get a big jump in Game 1, but then Malcolm Subban was outstanding. You talk about making key saves at key points of the game. Malcolm was right there. And that's the type of goaltending you need if you want to win a gold medal. For Laurent Brosseau, who's going to play the game tonight, he's going to have to show that he's capable. He's no stranger to being in that area. Game 2, it was about Kirill Kapustin. Very, very good. You know, for Maxim Legacy, he was kind of faced with a different type of player and different types of plays in that Game 2. Zlobin scores on a breakaway, the turnover right off the bat. He's going to have to be good. Canada's going to have to be a lot sharper so they don't put their goaltender in a tough spot.
Well, they'll ride a bit of momentum from the crowd here in Halifax as the Canadians hit the ice right now. What is it do you think they've learned about this Russian team in the first two games they can apply tonight?
To me, what they've learned is this Russian team is big, they're strong, and they're going to assert physically. So Canada has to be able to compete in those areas. Because in Game 2, you heard Dennis Bayak talk about it, there was a major pushback. There was a lot of pushing against Canada. Canada's going to have to stand up to it in this Game 3.
Head coach Steve Spots talked about the ice size here and the physicality Canada will have to bring against a big Russian squad, and he's with Mark Masters now.
Coach Phil DiGiuseppe took the morning skate. It looked like he was going to be in the lineup. Now we found out he's not. What's the latest?
Phil took a shot in practice in the hand. We took him to the hospital for x-rays on his hand. It came back negative, but the one finger is swollen pretty good, Mark. So we'll keep him out here tonight. We'll reassess him tomorrow morning and hopefully get him in tomorrow night. But some pain in the finger right now and some swelling. So we just thought it best that we keep him out tonight and go with obviously a healthy body.
Back on Canadian soil, obviously you'll have the fans on your side, but how big of an advantage will North American ice be for you guys?
Well, we hope we take advantage of it. You know, for me, I think we did a good job on the Olympic surface, but saying that, this is what our kids are most accustomed to. So we want to establish our forecheck early tonight. We want to play physical but smart. Obviously, the discipline's been a challenge for us so far, so it's going to be interesting to see if we can maintain that discipline with an aggressive forecheck.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Canada back on home soil. Game 3, puck drop, coming up next from Halifax, Nova Scotia on TSN.
Starting Team Canada, Olympic Canada, number 27, Ryan Murray, United States, number 6.
3-2 Canada in Game 1, 6-3 Russia in Game 2. Halifax Metro Center is where we are for Game 3. Dennis Bayak along with Mike Johnson up in the booth as we take a look at a couple of CHL goaltenders that will be in this one. Andrei Makarov of the Saskatoon Blades will get the start in this one. Surprised that he was not drafted. And this one is drafted. That is Laurent Brosseau of the Edmonton Oil Kings, a Calgary Flames draft pick. And what a run he had with the Oil Kings last year as they won the Western Hockey League Championship, backed by Brosseau. Coach of the Russian squad is Mikhail Varnikov. Put his team through an intense workout this morning here in this building.
That was not a normal morning skate. That was work the jet legs out. Any jet lag you might have in Steve's spot. Maybe not quite the intense practice this morning, but he certainly has an intense demeanor around the ice. He knows that he wants his guys to play better, more disciplined, more physical.
Referees for tonight's game, Mario Maillet of Moncton along with Devin Pickett of Halifax. The linesmen are both from Moncton, Jay Dwarant and Mike McDonnell. Game 3 is underway. The series tied 1-1, and very quickly on the backhand it is pitched into the bench.
Steve Spott, he's got his game face on early. He really has pushed these guys, even though it's a 4-game, even though it's an exhibition series, he wants to win, and he also wants to evaluate for their team at Christmas that will go to the World Juniors.
Wants his team to be more physical, wants them to stay out of the penalty box. How fine is that line, Mike?
Well, he needs to find guys that can control that line, because he'll need that in Russia at Christmas, and that is exactly what he's trying to find out. Guys who can play within the system, play hard, play with emotion, but stay in control.
Sergeyev back into his own end for Russia. Nemenkov, they have been a defense pair for most of this series. And Brossois gets to handle the puck for the first time. Dumba, he'll find Deneau, and Deneau will find some room down that left side. Chips it in and goes in after it around Nesterov. Nesterov gets a piece of Deneau, knocks him down. Into the forecheck is Hudon. Backhander. Deneau in front looking for a loose puck. It never got to him. Huberdeau wearing the C for Canada in this game. Huberdeau, a Memorial Cup champion, a Memorial Cup MVP. Cleared to center no further and right back in by Pelech. Yarulin for Slepyshev. Dumped in by Kapustin, coming off the 3-goal performance. What an emotional game for Kirill Kapustin, who is from Yaroslavl.
You think about it with him, who took the knee on from Mark Scheifele, wasn't sure if he was even healthy, to come back and get a hat trick in Yaroslavl to get the win on Russian ice. Meant a lot to him and the team.
In across the line, Sergeyev shot, scores! Shot by Sigarev, may have been tipped. And we get our first goal of the first period in this series.
Just like that, the building goes quiet as Russia strikes early. Simple neutral zone play. Big hit by Tverdokubov, and just an innocent-looking wrister from Sigarev. It's a rolling puck, a bit of a knuckle puck, but Laurent Brossois hasn't faced a shot prior to that. He would have liked to have made that save for sure.
So Russia with the 1-0 lead on the goal by Andrei Sigarev. So catch up for the Canadian squad. Ceci in for Strome, and Strome will roll his back into the Russian end. Vasilevsky gets taken to the backboards. Out to center, too far for Ketchup, and Cody Ceci's pass is picked off. Hamatov, long shot in front, bouncing puck. Brossois, the save, had trouble with the rebound. Shot from the line, that ricochets wide. So Laurent Brossois, who has been a spectator until now, gets his first action in the series here in the first game back on Canadian soil. Ty Ratty is up to lose puck. Ratty, the quick shot, that sails high and wide. Grigorenko tried to backhand it out of the zone, could not. Canada in on the forecheck. Good hit there by Brendan Leipzig. Luke Sutter in looking for a hit as well. And it's cleared down the ice, and this is going to be an icing call.
Tough start for Laurent Brossois. He's just looking to get a clean shot. He keeps getting these knuckle pucks. Canada wants to keep this puck up the boards, get the red line. Cody Ceci through the middle. That's just a bad turnover. He said that one bouncing on Brossois. He has to fight it off, as well as some traffic from Hamatov. But Steve Spott has been adamant. We can hear him on the bench talking about keeping it out of the middle, no turning that puck over. The counterattack from Russia is potent. Cody Ceci's got to get the red line, dump that in, give his team a chance to get the forecheck.
The ice crew here, Mike, has really had their work cut out for them. It is very hot. It is very humid here in Halifax. And they've done a masterful job getting this ice in the best condition possible, but it has not been easy. Grigorenko Puts this to the side of the net. That gets batted away. Charles Hudon. The quick up on the left side and a little bit of room for Deneau. Quick wrist shot. That's into the midsection of Makarov. And Makarov will hang on to it.
That's what Phil Deneau's got to do. Straight line player. Get some pucks in around the net. And some emotion back into this game. It's been a long couple days of travel. Clearly, I don't care what age you are. If you're going to fly for the better part of a day or travel for 24 hours and then try to play an intense hockey game, it's difficult. Canada's got to give themselves a chance to get involved physically and get the emotion into the game.
Face off in the Russian end of the ice. Sergeyev and Verdoklubov with the assists on the goal by Sigarov. As Russia in front 1-0. Kapustin goes shoulder to shoulder on the far side. Now his stick comes up and catches Adam Pelech. And Adam Pelech is up and slow to the Canadian benches, and Aaron's stick caught him in the face. Pelech, sharp angle for Wilson, and a save there by Makarov, and then Wilson gets taken down, and a penalty coming to Russia.
See the physical play picking up in the first period. Nice counterattack by Canada, drawing a penalty. Or is it going to be giving it to Wilson for goaltender interference for not stopping, not doing enough to get out of the way of contact with the goaltender Makarov. You talk about wanting to get involved physically. Kapustin, who had all the goals, upends Pelech, and then it's actually Leipzig's stick that comes across and catches Pelech. Good eyes by the referees not to make that call. It was his own player's stick that got him. And the power plays, which have been a problem, and the penalties for Canada, they put Russia right back on the power play.
Well, the coaching staff led by Steve Spott did not like the 5-minute call against Scheifele in Game 2, but Scheifele was the first to stand up and say, you know what, we need to expect that.
All the players have said it's not about where they're playing, it's not about who the referees are or where they're from, international rules or North America. It's about us being more disciplined. They put it on themselves, took ownership of the situation, and that's good leadership from the player group.
Well, Steve Spott may overlook that one against Wilson because it was a play that probably could have gone either way. In behind for Harrington, and Harrington on the puck and shovels it down the ice.
And that's just it. That's not a soft penalty. That's a penalty taking puck hard in the net, driving to the post. You can live with those penalties, guys going to the net.
Power play starts for Russia. 3 for 11 coming into this game for Russia with the man advantage. And this one is picked up and cleared down the ice.
It's even more than just the three goals that they scored. It's the 2 minutes off the clock. It's their inability for Canada to string together consecutive shifts of forechecking pressure because of all the penalties that they've taken through games 1 and 2.
Huberdeau and Scheifele up front. Dumba on the back end along with Morgan Riley to try and kill off this penalty. Just under a minute remaining. Nesterov feeds Yarulin, and he'll send this into the Team Canada zone. Big rebound off the corner boards. Teams pour in after it, and Kapustin gets this back to the line. Nesterov for Slepyshev, and back for Nesterov. Traffic in front, that was Kapustin, and the rebound cleared from in front of the net. Good defensive play there by Harrington to pick up that bouncing puck in front of his netminder. Yarulin, he gets rubbed out on the far side. Good body contact by Luke Sutter. Slepyshev. On it is Boone Jenner. Gets it around Deneau to the line. On a second try, he will clear it out. Jenner trying to steal on that far side from Yarulin. Carried back in. Proharkin stopped. He thought it may have been offside, but play goes on. Another pass up the middle is picked off. Hamatov drops in a quick shot by Proharkin. The Los Angeles draft pick, and that was stopped by Brossois. 2 shots on that power play for Russia. Osipov dodged the check there from Wilson. Diakov for Romantsev, too far, and icing is going to be the call. It is 1-0 Russia here in the opening period, Game 3 of the series from the Metro Center in Halifax. Back to Halifax and a 2-on-1 that the Russians convert into a 2-0 lead. Again, with the Canadians having control. Romancev with the nice backhand feed to Kachev, who has been a real good player for Russia in this series.
Ty Ratty gets caught standing still there. Nothing wrong with CC at the blue line. It's the support up the middle, and that's Ratty who can't get all the way back to catch Kachev. We've seen this reaction. 2 goals for Russia, 2 motions to the crowd to be quiet. I can't hear you. And the Russians want to be careful, enjoy the goal, but no need to do that. It's still very early in the first period.
Well, if there was any concern about the Russian team being tired, here's another chance. Look for her coming in at cross ice speed. That did not get through for Doklebov with the opportunity, and just had that roll off the end of his stick. But if there was any concern about them being tired because they did not arrive in Halifax until late last night, boy, that's gone out the window in a hurry.
Nothing energizes you like a goal or two. Get yourselves in the game.
Lesio in front of the net, scramble, rebound, Makarov got the right pad down. And now a penalty coming to Russia. Brossois to the bench for the extra attacker. Now as it's dumped in, grabbed and held by Makarov. And a power play coming for Canada as Makarov and Scheifele exchange words from a long range.
And it's going to be Vasilevsky off for the hook. Good response shift by Canada. This is what they need to do. Not try to make run and gun and make plays happen that aren't there. Get pucks in deep, get a forecheck going, and beat guys off the wall. And a Huberdeau here gets inside position, good footwork to the front of the net and drawing the hook.
Kapustin's on the loose puck, settles it down, clears it out to center. How difficult is the game plan for Canada now to be physical when you're down 2-0?
That's even easier. You're frustrated.
Ceci, who's got a bomb from that line, sends a backhander down for Lesio. Lesio rubbed out. Kevin Wass quickly on the puck, led the USHL in scoring last year with Lincoln. Kevin Waugh did. Makarov sends this around, but Udon is there to trap it. Udon gets it for Waugh. Waugh back to Udon. He had room on the far side, had the puck get away from him. Kapustin for Slepyshev. Stopped at the line by Morgan Riley. And Riley will lead the attack. Riley with Ratty heading to the front of the net. And Morgan Riley tried to get it to Ratty. It was beyond his reach. Ryan Murphy holds it in. Back for Ratty. Sharp angle. Save Makarov. Huberdeau wearing the C for this game for Canada. Jonathan Huberdeau settles it down. Tried to get it to Ty Ratty. Deflected away. Ratty pounces on the loose puck. You'll find Ryan Murray. Back for Ratty. Quick release, high glove, misses the target. Murphy. He'll fire it to the net. Deflected save. Another penalty coming to Russia. As a scramble in front, Ratty got knocked down from behind.
And that's why you get to the front of the net with traffic on the point shot. Ty Ratty gets the front. Draws the penalty on Nesterov. Here he goes in there, gets a piece of tip, and that's a pretty simple cross-check from behind. Easy call to make. And you want to know how to beat the Russians' defensive zone coverage. This is it. Make a play, take a hit, and then hard steps off the wall, beat your defender to the front. Charles Udon does a nice job of it. 5-on-5, 5-on-4, doesn't matter. That's how you have to beat the Russians in the offensive zone.
So Russia enjoyed a 5-on-3 in game 1. Canada gets a 5-on-3 here in game 2, and very much in need of a goal. 32 seconds left in the first penalty. The all-important face-off. Canada controls with Huberdeau. Back to the line, Murphy. For Murray. For Murphy. He can fire it, and he does scores! And Canada will stay on the power play. Ryan Murphy unloads from the line.
Ryan Murphy showing what he does so well, combining with Murray. Little switch, nothing fancy about this, but puts it across the grain through Ratty's body. Ratty right there. I don't know if he gets a piece of it or not. I think that goes actually right through, judging by the celebration of Murphy and Ratty. And that's what Ryan Murphy can do. You know, he may have the odd blunder as he did in game 2 in the defensive zone, but with the puck, with the man advantage, he is as good as anybody in the world at this age.
May have gone off to Minkoff in the high slot, but a bullet from the line. And the Canadian squad, another goal from the back end. So a power play continues. That goal coming with the Canadian team enjoying a two-man advantage. Boudon couldn't trap this, and icing is called against Canada.
Good recognition by the Canadian players out there that there was 32 seconds of a 5-on-3, and Ryan Murphy's not going to waste a lot of time passing around the edge. You have to take your shot into the net, take your opportunity, so that if you do get the goal, you will have the continued power play 5-on-4. Ryan Murphy, as savvy and offensive defenseman as there is, realized that, doesn't want to move the puck any more than he has to, just tees up the bomb and scores.
Well, picked in the first round in the 2011 draft to Carolina was Ryan Murphy. Power play continues. Morgan Riley drops for Kevin Waugh. He'll send it around. Canada trying to gain control with just under a minute left in the power play. Boudon finds Morgan Riley. Dumba waiting on that far side. It comes near side. Boudon, and a good save by Makarov. Riley sets it up without a stick to Slepyshev. Boudon drills that off the left shoulder of Makarov. Back for Boudon. Some jump to the Canadian stride now in a 2-1 opening period. Boudon unloads, no, for Dumba. Dumba's quick wrist shot that missed the target. The versatility of Dumba. Here's Boudon with a shot. Dumba jumps down low, eludes a check. Canada in on the forecheck. Boudon takes it off the board. Kevin Waugh. That through traffic doesn't get through. Power play is over as Nesterov is out of the penalty box. But Canada converts on the 5-on-3. Ooh, almost too many men as Kevin Waugh had to hurry and scamper back to the Canadian bench, and now offside called.
Good execution by Canada on the power play. Getting one of the 5-on-3, and Charles Boudon realizing that Slepyshev doesn't have a stick. He's in a good spot, but he knows if he can just get that seam pass through to Dumba, Dumba letting him know, I want it, shaking his stick to the sky. You can hear him yelling for it here. And if he just gets that puck a little bit more inside where Dumba can one-time it, that's going to be in the back of the net.
That's the book on Dumba. Physical, big hitter, but can also play the power play. So Murray and Scheifele on the assists on the goal by Murphy. We say hello to everyone back in Russia, joining us on Russian TV. Grigorenko trying to get it to the front of the net. Also hello to all those listening on TSN radio. At center for Wilson. He tried to jam it through, could not. Gets a second try and puts this deep. Sergeyev sends it up the wall, takes a big hit, and on the puck in front of the net for Wilson. A big hit forces a turnover, and a nice setup by Boone Jenner. Wilson just unable to convert. Jenner sends it back for Deneau to the side of the net. Wilson puts it into the blue paint, and again Wilson gets bumped and ends up on top of Makarov.
He's got to be careful there because he can get a goaltender interference. He's already got one, and he went down pretty quickly and easily on top of Makarov. And he's probably a little frustrated after Makarov had turned him away on the back door. What an unbelievable save. Puck gets through. Nemenkov doesn't even know Wilson's on the back door. He gets it up, but Makarov gets across, gets the glove over. He just can't get it over the pad enough to score the goal. Nothing wrong with that, but that is awfully easy and very convenient to fall down on the knee of the goaltender. You gotta be careful, get around the goalies.
Well, Lord Mulligan and everyone in Saskatoon will be happy with the save that Makarov made. Not happy with the fact that Wilson ended up falling on top of their goaltender. Ceci for Huberdeau. Watched by Vasilevsky. Scheifele is on the loose puck. Scheifele, who got tossed in the opening period of Game 2 with that kneeing major. Lesio in the slot tried a quick release, and that got blocked. On the loose puck, for Duckley-Bob, but he turns it over. Shifley back in, had it get away from him, and it's quickly cleared by Osipov. Delayed offside, Canada clears, and Osipov sets it back up. Turned over just inside the line. Strome has Ratty with him. Monahan up on the play as well. Murphy from the line gets it through. And a good save by Makarov and Ratty. Out of the Portland Winterhawks. Couldn't get a stick on the loose puck. Ceci. Born in Ottawa, plays junior in Ottawa, drafted by Ottawa. Ceci for Murphy. Murphy finds some room. Trying to go through the legs of Makarov. And Makarov shuts it down on the short side. Cleared, and this will be an icing call.
Ryan Murphy by the bench, catching his breath. Feel a little bit better about his game tonight. Gets the 5-on-3 goal, and whether you're an offensive player, even though he plays defense, a little bit of positive feedback, and you get on the board, you get a point, all of a sudden everything in your game becomes easier. You're skating a little cleaner, handling the puck, seeing the ice, and right now you saw Ryan Murphy 1-on-4 getting a good opportunity as his confidence starts to come back.
Last 8 shots in this game have come off Canadian sticks. 5 of them on the power play. It started very positively for Canada, and they get the 2-man advantage, and after falling behind 2-0, get themselves back in the game. Kachev and Sigarev. Then goals for Russia. Ryan Murphy for Canada. Wilson, sharp angle chance. Save made by Makarov. To the line for Dumba. Headshot deflected, and a right pad save by Makarov. Slepyshev goes wide. The long shot. Brossoit deflects that away. To the front of the net it comes. Dumba battles in the corner with Slepyshev. Slepyshev to the short side, and Brossoit may have got a piece of that. Jammed in the corner. Dumba plays it away. Interesting note on Slepyshev. On the Russian roster, listed at 6'1", 158. Central Scouting has him at 6'2", 187.
We saw him down in the hallway. He is not 158, that is for sure.
Yakupov, he can dangle, gets away from a check there by Boone Jenner. In for Slovan. Slovan tried to get it to the front of the net. Taken and cleared by Deneau. Some room now for Jenner. Jenner across the line, no further. Bouncing back, taken there by Slovan. And deflected out to center ice.
Good block by Udon, but because Semenkov had a man on the back door, head up, and was going to go for a tap-in tip. Charles Udon does a nice job getting the shooting lane.
Not dressed for the Russian squad tonight, Maxim Shalunov, who was very good in game 2. And in the smaller ice surface, him being 6'3", 191, we were kind of surprised that he was not in the lineup for this game 3. Boy, there's a bounce off a stanchion that was an opportunity for Russia had someone been able to get a stick on it. Murphy, straight up the center ice, fires this one, ripped it wide, but offside called against Canada. It was 2-0 Russia. That man got Canada on the board.
Steve Spott could not have been happy with the start of his team. A little slow, few misreads, but over the last 10 minutes of this period, with the aid of a couple power plays, they've gotten their game together, and the confidence they derived from the power play goal is carried over to their 5-on-5 play. Much better moving through the neutral zone, getting in on the forecheck, and really playing in the offensive zone.
5th appearance on a Team Canada coaching staff for Steve Spott out of Kitchener. And he'll be happy what he has seen from a defenseman that plays for him in the OHL, that being Ryan Murphy. Shifley plays this for Jonathan Huberdeau. He gets bumped off the puck. Good play there by the defenseman Vasilevsky. Through center ice for Duckley-Bob. He gets it turned over though, and here comes Huberdeau. And that wrist shot off the stick of Osipov and out of play.
Jonathan Huberdeau wearing the C tonight, and obviously he will be on the team in December if he's available to Team Canada in December. He has a very good opportunity to play for the Florida Panthers. A dynamic scorer, St. John's, terrific offensive player, but more than that we've seen in the one game he played, awareness defensively, and that's going to help him play in the NHL.
Had a very good preseason with the Panthers last year. They seriously thought about keeping him. Good back-checking job there by Ty Ratty as he lifted the stick of the defenseman Diakov, who would join the rush. Ratty carries back in offensively. This comes outside the line, and Dumba plays it for Riley. One from Red Deer, one from Moose Jaw in the Western Hockey League. Morgan Riley. He can dangle. Down low for Ryan Strome. It gets away from him, and Hamatov will get this out to center ice. In for Kachev. Kachev with that quick shot, and that just whistled wide. Hamatov is from Ufa, where the World Championships will be played, so big tournament for him. Ryan Strome, the Islander pick. He'll drop it as Canada starts to change. Deneau goes wide, blocked by Romancev. Finds Ryan Murphy. Puts it to the front of the net. Nice play by Ryan Murphy. Looking for that stick of Charles Hudon. Murphy's going to hold this in. No lane to the net. Plays it for Hudon. For Ryan Murray, for Murphy. Some room. Cuts in. Sharp angle. And Makarov may have got a piece of that. Ryan Murphy holds it in though. Slot for Ryan Murray. Save, rebound, save, score! They got about 3 whacks at it, and we're tied.
Ryan Murray and the Canadians taking advantage of some terrible defensive zone coverage. Breakdowns everywhere. The active defenseman of Canada giving the Russians all kinds of problems in their identification. Murray comes sliding right down Main Street. He's got time to make the move he wants. One shot, grabs the rebound. I think he banks this one in off Yarulin, in behind Makarov. Boone Jenner doing a nice job tying up the defenseman, but it's all the motion. That's Murphy in behind the net. Murray activating as well.
We're even, and Canada has now turned this into a 42-minute and 47-second hockey game after falling behind 2-0. Big hit in behind the Russian net. And a penalty coming up on the play. Boarding will be the call.
Leipzig doesn't like it. I don't blame him trying to get in on the forecheck. Looked to me like he got around the front shoulder to make the hit. And this is the kind of players that Steve Spot knows have to be careful. He gets on the front of them. It's not his fault that Sergeyev doesn't know he's coming, doesn't set him in the boards, just near the boards. And Leipzig has a legitimate concern with that call.
Murphy and Hudon on the assists on the goal by Murray, and another goal from the back end for Canada.
You see how so much offense was being run out of the Murray-Murphy combination, which were so good at the under-18s a couple of years ago. Both of them leading the team in scoring. Really, a defensive guy and an offensive guy blend well together.
Been quite a few months for Murray, the World Championships, the draft. Shot from the line, deflected, score! Nemenkov let it go. It was tipped in front of Brossois, and a power play goal has Russia in front in what has been a wild offensive first period.
Quick response on the power play for Russia, and Nemenkov, a little half slapper here, but it's really Dumba off his knee as he's trying to block that shot. Well, and he's sliding through the line of vision. You don't want to do that while the puck's on its way. And if you're not going to get all of it, don't try to get any of it. And you appreciate the idea from Matt Dumba, but the execution wasn't there. As you see him watching on the scoreboard, he's just got to get out of the way, let Brossois see it, and make what would have been an easy save.
Mike, it's not been an easy period for Laurent Brossois.
No. I mean, 3 goals against, you're thinking he's having an off period. That one off his own guy, a 2-on-1 backdoor, and a knuckle puck, the first puck he's seen in live action in months. And so he knows he's been the third goalie to play in this game. Malcolm Subban, the backup. Likely him to play tomorrow night, given how well he played in the first game. Laurent Brossoit knows if he wants to play tomorrow, he's got to play well tonight.
Subban got the team cape after game 1 for the hero of the day. Here comes Lesio, 3-2 Russia for Huberdeau. Huberdeau, power play goal for Russia. As Neminkov let it go from the line, off the knee of Dumba. Proharkin into the Canadian zone, no further. Proharkin, the Los Angeles draft pick, when asked what he knew about Los Angeles, all he said was Hollywood.
That's all he needs to know.
Yes.
He'll fit right in.
Osipov, blocked by Scheifele. Scheifele takes it away. Scheifele, out of the Barry Colts, plays this back in behind the net. Cleared as we're in the final minute now of the opening period. Lesio for Scheifele. He'll send this back to Murphy. Murphy back for Scheifele. He'll let it go for Huberdeau. Jonathan Huberdeau to the front of the net. And a bouncing puck gets cleared, and here comes Kirill Kapustin. He's alone, dodged a check.
That dodged a trip is what he did. Murphy sticking his foot out. That's perhaps a non-call based on Leipzig's call on the goal against.
Ryan Murray leads. Ryan Strome with one last rush here in the opening period. Strome, and getting a piece of him was Neminkov. Strome up and gets the battle going in the corner. Monahan gets dumped. Sergeyev plays it up the boards, and this gets deflected out by Shmelyev out to center ice. Ratty comes right back in. Ratty lets the shot go, and that goes off the stick and up and out of play.
You see guys flying around out here trying to make those big hits. Ratty recognizing not a lot of time on the clock, tries to put it on the net. But guys are looking to make big hits, big impact, and Ryan Murphy knows he's got Murray support, and that is a trip. That was not called. He wasn't going through the body, he went through the legs, and he got away with one there.
Well, just a couple of ticks left on the clock here in the opening period, and the first period comes to an end. So after no goals in the opening period of games 1 or 2, we get 5 here in the opening period. Russia with the 3-2 lead. One period done here in Halifax.
Ryan Murphy got Canada on the board, but it's Russia that jumps up to a 3-2 lead in the first intermission. And Ryan Murphy now with Mark Masters.
Ryan, you were behind the 8 ball early, down 2-0. What was the key to turning things around in the first?
Well, I mean, we caught some bad luck in the first 2 goals. I mean, it was a floater and an odd man rush. So we just had to stay positive on the bench, and we had to play our game, and we did a good job getting back in it, and we still got one more to go.
You had the mistake in game 2 that allowed the shorthanded goal for the Russians. How badly did you want to make an impact on this game early?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a goal's nice, but I mean, I just wanted to play safe. I need to prove to everyone that I can be reliable on the ice, and I wasn't coming out here to show anything offensively. I just want to be solid defensively.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Mark. And, well, we did not see any goals in the first period of the first 2 games in this series. We see them all tonight in this one, though. Russia gets out to the early jump, but Ryan Murphy, though, getting Canada on the board and has a goal and assist already in this game.
Yeah, I think what you saw from Ryan Murphy in the first period is exactly the skill set he brings to the game, and he talks about playing safe. I don't believe in playing safe. I believe playing to your strengths. And when Ryan Murphy is playing to his strengths, like you see him here, holding the puck, making plays towards the net, he's not going to get himself into trouble. He gets himself into trouble when he's not skating, when he's not playing fast and playing quickly. When he has got the puck, he can be a major catalyst. And that's exactly what he did in that first period. I think that just about every time, if not every time he had the puck in the first period, something positive was happening for Team Canada. And that's how you show coaches that you're reliable, that you're going to play to your strengths and you're going to make an impact on the game. Ryan Murphy went a long ways towards showing everybody that he's a darn good player in that first period.
Well, controlled emotion, I think, is something in this game for Canada. Coming back home, the excitement in the crowd, and trying to get that off the top. We saw after both goals of the Russians, it was kind of the old shh and a little quiet, and where's the noise? But Murphy comes back with a big goal, which really got Canada back into the game.
Yeah, well, no question. It got the crowd into the game, too. And don't make any mistake about it. It's really important to get the crowd into the game. You want to get that enthusiasm in the building. Canada did that. At 2-0, a couple of really competitive plays by the Russians, though. Ryan Murphy said it was bad luck. No, it was the Russians competing and then allowing their skill to take advantage. And that's where Canada, I thought, after being behind 2-0, they ramped it up and got competitive, and they got into the hard areas. I think Steve Spott will be happy with their play after falling behind 2-0.
Well, we knew how big the Russian team was and how physical they'd be as well. But when it comes to Canada, of course, they like to be like a team and like a family. And in Hockey Canada, it seems to be a family affair these days. Look at all the connections there when you think about the families in the game. It is 3-2, Russia leading Canada after 20 minutes of play. They're going to need a little hometown cheering. Back here in Halifax, the site of games 3 and 4 for the Canada-Russia Challenge. Game 4 tomorrow night, but it's Russia up 3-2 after one period of play. Canada outshot Russia 14-10 in that opening period. And with their thoughts on the first 20 minutes, let's head to the booth with Dennis Bayak and Mike Johnson.
Well, no lack of offense in that opening 20 minutes. You mentioned the shots on goal, John. Of the last 15 shots, 12 of them came from Canadian sticks. So certainly a better finish to the period for Team Canada. What caught your eye in that opening period?
Really Canada's willingness and ability to get inside the Russian defenders and get to the front of the net. Something we did not see hardly at all through the first two games, even the game one where Canada won. Guys coming off the wall, beating defenders to the front of the net, and pucks arriving as well. Canada did a nice job of that, creating some opportunities, drawing penalties, looking for offense, and that's what Steve Spott was talking about this morning. He was talking about we got to get to the dirty areas. You need, one, the willingness and the instinct to get there, but then also the legs and the will to beat inside the Russian defenders, beat them back to the front of the net. They did a good job doing that off cycles, off extended zone time. It's not easy to do. Canada did a good job of that, and that's what really got them back into this game.
Case now just calming everybody down in that dressing room?
I calmed them down, but playing fast. They started slowly out of the gate in period one. They have to continue to build off what they did the last 10-12 minutes of that period.
We'll send you downstairs. Enjoy Mark Masters.
Thanks, Dennis. You know, one of the stories I've been following during this series has been the presence of Byron McCrimmon with the team. He's stuck with the team, obviously went to Yaroslavl, which is where his son Brad died in the plane crash almost a year ago. And he's been treated like royalty everywhere he goes. Today he's actually sitting in a box with Steve Yzerman and Peter Chiarelli, who are part of the Team Canada national team, men's senior team management. So he's there with his son Kelly, who's joined him in Halifax. So yet another big night for Byron McCrimmon. I can tell you that tomorrow they're very excited that Mark de Jong, who's a medalist, bronze medalist at the Olympics, he's a Halifax native, he'll be at the game tomorrow night. Guy, let's throw it back to John.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Mark. It is Russia with a 3-2 lead over Canada after 20 minutes of play, and Russia wondering, where's all the noise?
Game 3 of the Canada-Russia Challenge. Halifax Metro Center is where we are. Russia jumping out to a quick 2-0 lead in that opening period. Canada fighting back to tie at 2-2. And then a power play goal as Russia in front 3-2 as we get set to start period number 2.
Canada bench knows that they want to be playing the same way they ended period number 1. Russia happened to be up 3-2, started well, finished well, in between, didn't get a lot done. They want to continue to play with the puck and not spend so much time on their own end.
Each team with a power play goal as the second period is underway. Boone Jenner, he'll rip that one. That gets blocked as the Minkov got in front of it. Out to center ice no further. It gets turned over, and Murray ahead for Udon. For Jenner, floats that one wide. Jumping in from the left point is Harrington. Taken by Sergeyev. Ahead for Zlobin to the front of the net. Looking for Grigorenko. This top line of the Russian squad of Zlobin, Yakupov, and Grigorenko somewhat quiet in that opening 20 minutes. Murray, number 2 overall in last June's draft. Tries to get it to the front of the net. Keeping an eye on him was Nemenkov. It's steered away. Room down that left side. Kapustin, but Scheifele takes it away from him. Slightly back in. He gets taken to the boards. Here comes Lesio. Penalty coming up as Lesio drives it to the net. And as Kapustin touches it on the far side, play is whistled down.
Taking advantage of a broken play at the bench. Canada turning the puck over, and guys are all over the place. Too many men, almost offside. Scheifele pulls that puck off, and it's Ryan Strome who's got to hustle out to stay on side, and then a nice pull here. Lesio taking it to the net, drawing the hooking penalty on Prokhorkin. And a good start, fresh ice. Power play guys always like that early in the period for Canada to tie this game up.
Face off in the Russian zone. Tied up in the corner and picked up and cleared down the ice by Osipov. Ryan Murphy. As the power play gets going, he and Strome play give and go. Now for Murray into the slot. One touch pass for Ryan Murphy. The blast. Ouch, that hit Ryan Strome in front of the net. Strome shaken up but stays out there. And now Osipov will get this back into the Canadian zone. One of the dangers of going to the front of the net.
We were talking about that this morning, watching morning skate. You have to be willing to stand in there and potentially take a shot right where Ryan Strome got it in the chest. He stays on the ice.
Strome trying to bust through, could not. Well, Phil DiGiuseppe, who's not in the lineup tonight, was supposed to play. Blocked a shot, or took a shot off the finger this morning in practice, and the finger is swollen to the point where could not play tonight. It's hopeful that he will be back in the lineup tomorrow. Lead pass, Lesio from Morgan Riley, and another penalty. So with 45 seconds left in the penalty to Prokhorkin, another penalty coming, and Team Canada will get its second 5-on-3 of the game as Sergeyev will go to the box.
Easy call for the ref to make. I'm not sure what Sergeyev could possibly be talking about. And you see Lucas Lesio timing it perfectly, jumping off the half the wall, splitting the seam, full speed, and Riley snapping one in stride. He gets inside, and Sergeyev's reaching with both hands to try to stop Lesio from turning the corner. And they struck very quickly off the face-off win on the first 5-on-3. A little more time. They don't have to rush it this time. 45 seconds. They can work it around and potentially work a play from the goal line.
Canada working on power plays 3 and 4 in the hockey game as Scheifele gets waved out of the face-off circle. Huberdeau goes in, gets it for Scheifele and back for Murphy. Now to Murray and back for Murphy as they play give and go. 5-on-3 Canada. Murray drills it right on Makarov. A good save with no rebound.
Good save, no rebound. We talked about willingness to stand in there. That time it was Ty Ratty. And you see as this puck is about to come to the net, he slides to his right trying to get a tip facing the puck sideways. He wants to continue that 2-6 right in front of Makarov, not pin out of the way there. I know you want to pivot and look for a rebound. Think of Thomas Holmstrom. Think of Ryan Smith. You stand there, let it get through your legs. It's a 5-on-3. You're trying to make life difficult for the goalie.
Murphy fakes the shot. Back for Murray and back for Murphy. They switch sides. Murray, the one-timer. He drilled that one wide, short side. Murphy to the side of the door. They jam it out front. Scheifele has to chase it down. Back for Murphy. Deflected away. Jonathan Huberdeau is on it. Huberdeau, dying seconds of the first penalty. Ratty, Scheifele, Murphy, stopped in front, Makarov down, and now a one-man advantage for Canada.
Makarov under some duress there. Ryan Murphy teeing it up a couple times. And Makarov not only makes the save, but keeps the rebound under control this time. Ty Ratty again sliding out front. Keeps his chest facing the play up ice, doesn't spin his shoulders, makes it harder for Makarov to see the puck while getting a tip on it.
Kevin Waugh behind the net. Lesio is after it. Players fall. Kept in at the line, Morgan Riley. For Udon, gets away from him. And it'll be cleared down the ice by Nemenkov. Morgan Riley finds Kevin Waugh. He'll find some room into the Russian zone. Tight turns it over. Down the ice it goes.
Kevin Waugh left on an island. But on the power play, he's got to get somebody closer to him for puck support so he can protect it and dish it off to someone.
Cody Ceci sends it in. Makarov for Zlobin on the penalty kill. Kevin Waugh's after it. Comes to the line and kept in. Ceci can fire it. And that goes off a body in front. May have gone off Lesio. And he's slow to get up. To the front of the net. Redirect. Score! Zlobin with a short-handed goal. As Lesio is injured in behind the play. Second short-handed goal of the tournament for Russia.
Nice goal from Zlobin, but Lesio trying to get to the front of the net. Ceci, we talked about his heavy shot, and that is off the inside of his right knee. And he is down, and on the counterattack, nice play by Yakupov, who's been quiet, but brilliant pass through the seam, and Zlobin with a good finish. Used to playing in this building, plays in the Quebec League with Shawinigan, scored the Memorial Cup game winner, had some big goals in his time, and that's the second shorthanded goal given up in 2 games. And Lucas Lesio struggling mightily, just trying to get down the tunnel to the dressing room. And there's not a lot of pad on the side of your knee. Your shin pad obviously covers the front, but if it hits the side, if it hits the wrong spot, it can absolutely deaden your leg until you get some feeling back in your foot and your knee, and that is a tough break for Canada.
So he makes his way down the walkway with Dr. Cole Beavis. So Pelech is back on the ice after getting shaken up in the first period. Team Canada is going to be thinking this is Friday the 13th, not Monday the 13th. They had DiGiuseppe get hurt this morning. Pelech in the first period, Lesio here in the second period. So it is a 4-2 game. Zlobin from Yakupov, the short-handed marker. Pelech. He'll find Harrington. Harrington will steer it in. After it goes Ryan Strome. He got shaken up earlier this period as well, but stayed out. Ratty to the line of Murray. In for Strome. Tight turns and gets away from Osipov. Monahan with a goal and an assist so far in this tournament. Behind for Strome. Strome in front for Monahan. Scores! Sean Monahan make that 2 goals and an assist in this tournament, and Canada back to within 1. A minute 3 after the short-handed marker.
So Sean Monahan, exactly what Steve Spott wants. Good defensive positioning. Puck gets turned over, and he beats Dykov back to the front of the net. And then good hands, quick finish to get his second of the tournament. Nice feed out in front for Ryan Strome, but it's about being above the puck, above your defender, and then attacking quickly with speed and authority gets Monahan to the front of the net.
So 13 forwards dressed for Canada, and now with Lesio gone, they're down to 12, and everyone will get a little more ice time. Wilson carries in as Canada back on the attack. Big Wilson after the puck. Wilson 6'4", 205. Don Maloney of the Coyotes is in the building, and will have some concern for Lesio, who is a Phoenix pick. Shot from the line by Riley, and that's gloved. And again, Makarov with Wilson and some other players in his crease, and Makarov is slow to get up.
He's been getting bumped around a little bit, and that's okay to be part of the game plan. You actually see him with a mouth guard in, which not a lot of goalies want to wear, but he obviously knew what was coming at him in tonight's game, where Canada's made a conscious effort to get in around his crease, make life difficult for him. He played well in the game that he won, so that is a very obvious adjustment Canada's tried to make it, done a good job of it. And there's Lucas Lesio. We talked about the foot going numb or the leg going numb when you get caught on the outside of your knee there. Great sign to see him back, and he's telling Cody Ceci, it's okay, keep shooting it, I'll keep getting to the front of that net.
Murray for Udon. You'll find Harrington bounced away from him, and Yakupov is on it. Nail Yakupov drops it back. Big Grigorenko. The Buffalo pick. Grigorenko protects the puck. Drops it back to Rulin. Sharp angle chance. Save made on the short side by Brossois. Murray tries to stuff this up the boards. Can't, so elects to come to the near side. Race to the near side boards, and Nesterov gets there first. Yakupov, oh, he had Grigorenko walking into that high slot. Puck just deflected away. Jenner. Back into the Russian zone. Alexei Vasilevsky leaves it. Nesterov sends it around the boards. Kept in by Ryan Murphy. The blast, that goes off someone in front. And Boone Jenner will track it down. Jenner, the Columbus draft pick. After Yakupov in the corner. There'll be some battles between those two for years to come. And this is going to be an icing call against Russia.
It's a good opportunity right now for Canada because that's a very tired group of Russian defenders out there. Been out for about a minute. Up the ice offense zone, back check. You see Yakupov, hands on his knees, trying to catch his breath. Mark Scheifele has to bear down on this faceoff. So important to not give them the easy control, win the draw, make them work, and likelihood of getting a chance, perhaps drawing a penalty is there.
Yakupov, it's been said, and we saw it this morning, has an infectious personality. Big smile on his face, was banging the glass because he wanted to say hello to Craig Button, who was sitting up in the stands.
You must know Craig had him ranked as #1 overall on all his draft scouts. Say a little thank you.
And obviously Edmonton agreed.
And this has been a kind of normal game for Yakupov in the series. He hasn't had a puck a lot, hasn't done too much, but yet he's got a couple assists. He scored a goal, he's putting up the points, and still not being dominant shift in, shift out.
Scheifele tries to get this down low. This is going to be gloved on a hand pass, and we will get a stoppage. 4-3 as the offense continues here in Halifax. The IIHF Women's World Championship is coming back to Ottawa. As Steve Spott tries to cheer his troops on.
Done a nice job battling back, responding after giving up some goals, trying to stay within the game plan and not force plays. Steve Spott reiterated this morning, this is a game they want to win, but almost more importantly for him is he's trying to evaluate players, and he wants to see how guys respond in different roles, in different situations. So he's not coaching this tournament specifically to try to win all 4 games. Of course, the players on the ice are, but not necessarily from the coaching standpoint.
Nice play by Scheifele. Scheifele plays it back for Morgan Riley, the shot, and Makarov makes the save on that. Makarov has been very solid in nets.
And when you bring together a group of stars like this, you're going to bring some GMs out. There's Peter Chiarelli with Dougie Hamilton not playing tonight. Of course, a Boston draft pick. And they're probably talking about perhaps where Dougie might just fit on the blue line next year because he has a legitimate chance to make it. Malcolm Subban, a first rounder to Boston this past draft, maybe a couple years away from playing in Boston, but 2 big parts of the future of the Bruins. Peter Chiarelli keeping a close eye on both.
And that is the question mark with a lot of these players on both these teams. Ryan Murphy walks in, fires right on. Another save by Makarov. And Makarov hangs on.
Ryan Murphy making it happen with the puck. Head up. All kinds of time, patience, and Tyrad, he's got to find a way to get away from Sergeyev there. You just can't stand off the side of the net. He's got to pin maybe a little bit with the glove on his stick. You let go of your stick with your top hand and slide over and get in front of Makarov's line of sight.
Another shot from the line. That goes off a stick and up into the netting in behind Makarov, who had 29 wins last year with the Saskatoon Blades.
He's got his Blades helmet on. There's a few players on this Russian team that play in the CHL over here. That played quite well. Of course, Grigorenko and Yakupov, 2 big namers, but Sergeyev plays in Val-d'Or. Makarov is in Saskatoon, so they recognize where the top junior league is and they come to play in it.
Murray tries to get this through, and That leaves the playing surface one more time. The IIHF Women's World Championship coming back to Ottawa after hosting the first ever World Championship in 1990. Canada's capital city hosts the Worlds again in April of 2013. For more information, go to hockeycanada.ca/213 Ottawa. This is cleared all the way down the ice, and icing will be the call as play has slowed down a bit here in the second period.
But it's really been Canada starting to take over this game, and field position right now is very much in Canada's favor. All the play in Russia's end. Russia struck for the quick short-handed rush, but beyond that, it's been Canada turning pucks over, playing the offensive end, getting shots in and around Makarov, and that is what they want to stay with.
5 whistles in the last 30 seconds.
That is slowing to a snail's pace. Make that 6 on a broken face-off.
Yes. Ryan Strome of the New York Islanders.
You wonder as this game continues to go on, you know, fatigue becomes a bit of an issue, as both teams have had very long travel days the last couple days, and the adrenaline starts to wear off a little bit, and the legs get a little heavier, and you might see some of the choppier play.
NHL New York Islanders, OHL Niagara for Ryan Strome, who, like a lot of Ontario kids, is an elite lacrosse player. Multi-talented. Kapustin off the hat trick game in game 2. Gets to the line no further. Ratty feeds it through. Strome goes after it. Nesterov and Strome to the corner boards. Yarulin hustles over and helps Nesterov out. And to center ice where Harrington pumps this right back into the Russian zone. Off the glass, and Nesterov lets this go down the ice. They wave off the icing, and Brossoit leaves it there for Matt Pelech. Adam Pelech, younger brother of Matt Pelech, a Calgary Flames draft pick in 2005. Around the boards, Pelech holds this in, watched by Yakupov. Yakupov actually behind Pelech. Battle in the corner. Wilson trying to use that big body of his to control it, and he does against Sergeyev, and now it comes loose. Proporkin sends it ahead for Slepyshev, and Slepyshev will chase the puck into the Canadian zone. Chance for Sutter. Finds some room, wrist shot. He tried to go on his Saskatoon teammate, high glove, missed the target. Luke Sutter, son of Rich Sutter. Cleared in the corner, Sutter to the front of the net, looking for Udon. That got away. Out to center, Murray breaks it up and dumps it. Nobody wanting to touch that as Canada was in the middle of a line change. In on the forecheck with a big hit, Deneau. That forces the turnover. Udon had it get away from him though, and Grigorenko ahead for Yakupov. Yakupov wide on Murray, sharp angle, Brossoit down. To the line, Vasilevsky the shot, Brossoit got the left pad on that. Udon, back with Jenner. Nemenkov sends it around the boards, and Schlobin will deflect it out to center, and Murphy will play for O'Reilly. Morgan Riley, he'll stop there. Grigorenko turns it over. Grigorenko on the backhand, tried to get it to the front of the net, could not, and it will be Jenner. Morgan Riley on a bouncing puck, kept in though, batted away from the front of the net by Ryan Murphy, and now some pressure coming from the Russian squad, and the Minkov shot gobbled up and held by Brossoit.
A lot of talk about now Yakupov, can he play in the NHL? Well, you see him on the offensive side of Adam Pelech on a pitch. He can't get away with that if he wants to play in the NHL next year in the defense zone. Here he is again, same shift, trying to sneak in behind Ryan Murray, stretch it out. Maybe you try in the offense zone, but if you want to play in Edmonton, and I think he does because he had his Oiler gloves on this morning, you have to be responsible defensively. You cannot cheat to create offense. In fact, the better defense you play, the easier the offense will come. And once he gets the puck, he's dangerous. He's just got to get in the right spots to get that puck.
Talented and passionate is what Steve Tambellini had to say about young Yakupov. He is quite the player. Shot from the line by Pelech, and another big save by Andrei Makarov. And every time you see that, Mike, we've talked about this before with Makarov, is the fact that he was not drafted last year.
One of the highest rated goalies for the draft from the WHL, but look where he is allowed to get to. He's 4 feet outside of his crease because he's not forced to fight through traffic. The Russians did a nice job sealing off the Canadian forwards on the backside, allowing him to challenge the shooter, making a nice glove save.
Came over initially to play for Lewiston to the Q. Face off in the Russian end of the ice, 4-3. Dennis Bayak and Mike Johnson up in the press box. Craig Button, John Bartlett, Mark Masters with you in Halifax, along with the rest of our TSN crew, as we bring you Game 3 of this Canada-Russia Challenge. Game 4 goes tomorrow here in this building, and we'll have that for you as well. Lesio to the front of the net, and Sigarev on the back check is going to get a penalty. Shifley and Makarov, another big save. And now play whistle down. No, it's not Sigarev on the back check. The penalty's coming, the hit in the corner.
And very sensitive to any boarding hitting from behind, but it was actually Huberdeau who had Dykov's stick on his hit. Dykov just letting it be there, and it's Huberdeau who turns right back into Dykov here. He faced the boards, and that's a tough one to take. And here's a scoring chance, Mark Shifley, and that's a spot he wants to be. He's a finisher. Makarov again making a big save, being very aggressive on the challenge.
Canada 1 for 4 on the power play with 8 shots on goal. And one of the Canadian goals, that from Ryan Murphy, came on the power play. Morgan Riley tries to get it through Kent, but Dumba has it, lets the shot go! Kevin Waugh just couldn't catch up to that loose puck in time. Monahan, his goal brought Canada to within 1. Riley fakes, finds Udon. Monahan, Kevin Waugh fights to the front of the net. Monahan back for Riley. Udon, Riley, Dumba, Riley, Udon, Monahan, Udon in front along with Dumba. Neither could get a stick on the puck. Riley fights his way to the net away from Slepyshev. Riley to the goal line for Monahan. Cross ice looking for Udon, tipped away. Charles Udon jumps on it, the Montreal draft pick for Dumba. The Minnesota draft pick, Dumba. Down low, Monahan, who will be a high pick in the 2013 draft. Power play for Canada, Udon scores! Charles Udon. 4-4.
That is power play execution for Canada, showing all the options, running all the routes, and finally Charles Udon, who is opening my eyes and many others, walks in off the half wall, and yes, he gets a bit of a break off Sergeyev, but the fact that he's willing to attack that seam, taking advantage of the tired defenders, got a heavy shot. He is a fantastic little player. Very good defensively, so smart, soft hands, he's got the whole package. He has been Canada's best forward for 3 games, and he has been again tonight.
And a confident young man.
Why wouldn't you be?
He believes he can one day play in the top line in the National Hockey League. Wow, as Jenner gets stood up at the line with a big hit. And Jenner lost his helmet, has to make his way back to the bench. Gives the training staff the word that he's okay. Harrington. Well, we're back to even. Lead pass deflected in by Luke Sutter. Wilson is after it. Another point for Monahan. Sutter trying to work this down low. The stats on Luke Sutter: his father, 5 uncles, and 4 cousins. They've either played or been drafted into the NHL. Shot from the line, that hits a leg in front, doesn't get through. Udon from Riley and Monahan. On a power play at 13:01 to tie this game up 4-4. Odd man rush, Yakupov tried to get it to Grigorenko. Boy, Canada converging quickly on Yakupov. Huberdeau for Shifley. Scheifele trying to wind his way through, and Grigorenko comes back to chop it away and sends it out to center. Ryan Murphy against Lobin. Tied up by the helmet that's laying on the ice. That's still Boone Jenner's helmet from a few shifts ago. As we look at Nail Yakupov, we have a 4-4 tie. Scheifele chatting with Yakupov. So Coach Steve Spott learning a little bit more about his team in this game tonight. I'm sure they were down 2-0, came back to tie it, down 4-2, came back to tie it.
They're playing the right way this game, though. They're playing differently than they played in Russia. Maybe it's the advantage of playing the smaller ice. Guys are more comfortable in their positioning, their spacing, because their timing's much better on the offensive end.
Lesio on an odd man rush in for Huberdeau, and a rolling puck as he tried to get it back to the backhand. Pellick for Ryan Murphy through some traffic. Scheifele backdoor looking for Huberdeau. Lesio trying to get away from Romancev. For Ryan Murphy and quickly for Pellick. And the wrister from the line by Adam Pellick is gobbled up and held.
Huberdeau shaking his head. He knew he had that one on his stick. Lucas Lesio jumping on a loose puck. Leg looks just fine here. Sauced it across to Huberdeau after the defenseman dropped the stick. Mishandles it, but he's about to tuck it in on the backhand, but staying with the play was Hamatov to get his stick back here to take it away at the empty netter, and Huberdeau was more upset about mishandling the first one because he had Makarov going to the far post, had the empty netter, and popped over his stick.
Stone for Riley. Down low it goes for Ty Ratty, the scoring machine out of the Portland Winterhawks. Airdrie, Alberta's home for Ty Ratty. Dumba to the front of the net, and it's batted away before Strome could get a stick on it. Possible odd man rush. Schleppershev forced wide by Dumba, puts it to the front of the net, and it's cleared away. Boy, there's the skating ability of Morgan Riley.
Yeah, back to cover, makes up for a lot of maybe mistakes he makes as well as teammates.
Some room for Monahan. Slayton sit deep. Osipov rides Monahan out. And that gives Russia a little bit of time. Slepyshev through center gets bumped. Cleared through center ice, and here comes Ryan Murray. Round the boards, waiting for it is Ryan Murphy. Puts it to the front of the net, cleared away by Vasilevsky. Through center ice, Schmelia tries to get it to the front of the net, and that's a ricochet that Brossois had to be careful with. Schmelia in front of that's cleared away. Another sharp angle chance, and that stops. So some pressure now by Russia. And that shot goes from Segura.
That hit the mesh. That hit the mesh. That play should be blown dead.
Ty Ratty blocking a blast from the line.
Very clear. That was about 8 feet into the mesh. The missed call over the referee's head.
Crowd not going easy on the officials.
Ty Ratty saying thank you very much. Took that right in the knee because you guys had to block an extra shot.
Through center ice. Carried in by Doklebov. And that gets stopped and play whistle down. To all minor hockey players, parents, coaches, officials registered with Hockey Canada, be on the lookout for your Club Hockey Canada membership card this fall. The card comes with benefits provided by Hockey Canada's numerous partners. Speaking of Hockey Canada, and this is a bit of a evaluation camp for both these teams. From the World Junior Championship in Alberta, over $22 million was turned over to grassroots hockey. So a successful World Junior Championship in Alberta, and Ufa, Russia, the home of this year's World Championship. Snapped up the middle by Harrington, deflected it by Udon. His goal tied it up. Big hit by Udon on Urulin. Urulin had the big hit on Jenner. Through center, Grigorenko finds Yakupov. Back to Grigorenko, and Brossois with his best save of the night. Blast from the line, that's blocked in front as Deneau got him laying in front of that blast. Through center for Udon. Catching up is Jenner. Udon to Jenner. And Makarov answers the bell at the other end of the ice. Grigorenko. Yakupov back for Grigorenko. 6'3", 185-pound Grigorenko. Into the slot. Back for Osipov as that came off the stick of Ketchup. And now Jenner sends it ahead for Udon, but this will be whistled back on the offside as they open it up.
And it's been a tough night for Laurent Brossoit, but he comes up with a big save here. Adam Pelech gets caught standing still too far wide, giving Grigorenko the middle of the ice. He beats him to the ice, give and go play, and a two-pad stack coming over, taking it away from Brossoit. A lot of bouncing pucks, crazy bounces, hasn't been too busy. He's given up 4, but that was a big save given the situation and time of game to make sure that Canada gets into the second intermission at least tied.
42 wins, playoff MVP for Laurent Brossoit. Last year in the Western Hockey League.
You know, right off the opening parts of this game, a knuckle puck up by him, he does some broken plays, bouncers, and when you're a goalie and he's trying to find his rhythm, hasn't played in a long time, he just hasn't settled in, looked comfortable, looked confident where he was seeing the puck and where it was going off his pads.
Shifley off the draw, lets that one go, and Makarov watched that one sail over his Saskatoon Blade mask. After it is Lucas Lacio, taken by Vasilevsky for Hamatov. He'll sail this up the middle. It was in behind Romantsev. And Canada carries right back in. To the far side for Huberdeau from Shifley. Jonathan Huberdeau. And Russia attempt to just get this out of harm's way. Matt Dumba. To the line, no further. Broken up by Nemenkov, and Dumba will try it again. Deflected in, bouncing puck. Back for it, Sergeyev. Sergeyev played midget hockey in Chicago. Igor Larionov is his agent. Sergeyev will carry it out. For Prohorkin, stopped at center. Back in for Monahan. Monahan, the wrist shot. Makarov steered it away. Kapustin gets rubbed out by Ratty. Gets it for Slepyshev. He'll drop it. The shot by Prohorkin doesn't get through. And taken by Murray. For Ratty. Ty Ratty into the slot. Harrington the shot. Save made by Makarov as the Canadian defense engage in the rush.
That second layer of attack, that time it was Scott Harrington jumping up. And he beats Slepyshev up the ice. There's Slepyshev, doesn't even see him. Zagarov can't catch him either, and that's a golden opportunity after the first 3 defenders were pushed back off a hard center lane drive by both Monahan and Strome. Good recognition, well executed play, just Harrington could not beat Makarov.
Canadian defense has been very much a part of the offense for Canada.
They have so many defenders that think offense, they want to go, and they can skate well enough too.
Big hit by Shifley in the corner. Kept in by Murray. Back for Shifley. Now to Lacio. Time for one more attack. Lacio trying to find Shifley. Shifley with Jonathan Huberdeau in the high slot right in front of the net for Lacio. And it's off a skate, cleared to center ice. As Schlobin goes after it, he gets tied up on the play by Murray. And despite the fact we've had 8 goals in this game, the goaltenders have come up with some big saves. So 15-10 the shots for Canada after in that second. Second period ends tied 4-4.
Tied at 4 after 40 minutes of play, thanks to a great save by Laurent Brossoit, the Canadian net, as Mark Masters is standing by now with Sean Monahan.
Sean, you're one of 2 draft-eligible players on this team. Coming into this tournament, did you have it in your mind you had to make an impression to get noticed?
Well, I wasn't really looking at the draft there, but I was looking at Team Canada, so I knew I had to come and make an impression on them and hopefully get noticed by them in a good way. And I think as a team right now, we're playing well, so it's helping me in that way.
20 minutes to go, tie game. What do you guys have to do to win?
I think just stick to the game plan and play our game, and if we do, our chances will come and we'll capitalize, and I think that's all we got to do.
Thanks, Sean. Good luck in the third.
Thank you.
Well, what a game it has been so far here in Halifax in Game 3. 8 goals already in this one, but a big tying goal for Charles Hudon, who had quite the period for Canada there in the second.
Steve Spott wanted to see his players, especially the forwards, really compete in the hard areas, go to the net. Well, Charles Hudon, who might be the smallest player on the team, has led that for Team Canada. Totally involved, competing in every single area. We know he's smart, we know he's aware, we know he's got skill, but this is exactly what Steve Spott wants. Follow the play to the net, get hungry around the net, find scoring chances. Charles Hudon has gotten involved physically, and you're seeing him almost grow in confidence as this game has continued. And then right here, the poise, the patience, and then the scoring ability to tie up this game. Well, not to tie up the game, but to make it a 4-3. Yeah, no, he did tie it up. And Charles Hudon has been a factor throughout this game. He's been a factor throughout this series. And you hear Sean Monahan talking about trying to make a really good impression upon the coaching staff. Charles Hudon has done exactly that.
Well, certainly. Hudon has been training in Montreal, the Canadiens' practice facility, under the guidance of Pierre Allaire, and he's also been working with Louis Leblanc, so another player who knows a little bit about what it takes to try and train and get ready for the year. But, you know, he models his game after David Desharnais a little bit of the Canadiens, and you see that a little bit in his game as well. You know, that feistiness, competitiveness despite the size.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like, players that aren't maybe the biggest players, they got to really be able to play to their strengths. And when you watch Charles Hudon play, he uses his head, he uses his puck abilities, and he's a really good skater. And as he matures physically, those things will improve. The biggest mistakes in the draft, the vast majority of mistakes in the NHL draft, are made on size. Either overestimating the bigger player or underestimating the smaller player. I don't think the Montreal Canadiens underestimated Charles Hudon, and he might show that he might be one of those gems found in the later rounds of the draft.
Well, Steve Spott said it. He feels Montreal got a bit of a steal with Charles Hudon. Celebrating here in Halifax, and for Hudon, celebrating Chicoutimi, his junior team, and in Poivrier as well. Look at McDonald Bridge here in Halifax, tied at 4 after 40 minutes of play as we join Mark Masters, who's standing by with a 72 alumni member, Pat Stapleton.
Here with Pat Stapleton, one of the many Summit Series alumnus who are in the city for this tournament. Pat, when you think back on the Summit Series and the impact it had on this country, is it hard for you to wrap your head around it 40 years later?
Not really, Mark. It's still a competitive series. I mean, it's a pretty good hockey game tonight in the middle of August. The two countries have created that rivalry over 40 years, and they enjoy playing against one another. Great competition.
Now, you actually ended up with the last puck from Game 8 in the Summit Series. How did you end up with the puck, and where is it now?
We just happened to be on the ice for the last couple of minutes and happened to have the puck at the end of the game and just picked up a puck. That was it.
Where is it now?
It's back in Strathroy, Ontario.
On a shelf?
Oh, on a shelf. Yeah, in a shelf. Sometimes I show kids when they come by or show people, and they don't believe it's the puck. I don't know what they want, a hole in it or, you know, but it's a black puck.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. Back to you, John.
Might also be the most historical piece of vulcanized rubber in Canadian hockey history. The 2007 Super Series. Look at the lineup Canada had at that time and some of the names and how they moved on now.
Well, no question about it. I mean, Sam Gagner really emerging now in Edmonton. Kyle Turris looks like he's emerging in Ottawa. And John Tavares, he's looking like he's moving into that superstar category, certainly building along him. And then Brandon Sutter going to find a new home in Pittsburgh. Not too bad.
Well, that Super Series went extremely well for Canada. Russia hardly touched Canada in any of the games, but in this one, it's been close. 4-4, heading to the third when we return to Halifax next on TSN.
Series is tied a game apiece. The game is tied 4-4 as we get set for the third period here at the Metro Center in Halifax. And we were talking about the 2007 Super Series and Brad Marchand. 28 goals last season for the Boston Bruins. The Stanley Cup ring to his repertoire already. And some youngsters looking for an autograph.
And why not? He is an emerging top-end player in the NHL. And use his kind of player out here right now, or anytime Canada comes together, that combination of skill and grit and
discipline.
attitude and towing the line.
Yes, he falls into all those categories. Murray, he'll go cross ice for Harrington. For Boone Jenner, and in it goes. Race for the puck, Deneau. Plays this back to the line. Murray, goal and an assist in this game. The shot doesn't get through to the front of the net. Ricochets off the skate, out to center ice it goes as Woven goes for a spill. Jenner sends this back in, trying to get a step on the Minkoff. He does, but he does it illegally, and that is not a penalty that the Canadian coaching staff will like.
All that hard work, battling back into the game, focus on discipline. Boone Jenner does not have an angle to get around the Minkoff, so he reaches out, spins him off the loose arm right in front of the referee. 30 seconds into the start of the third period. Bad penalty to take for Boone Jenner.
It is. Steve Spott looks on, and we touched on that at the top of the show. He has preached to these players, if you want to be with this squad come December, we need discipline. Kapustin to the line, Yarulin, Nesterov, back for Yarulin. Down low, Proporkin. To the goal line it goes. Kapustin walks it out front, has Slepyshev off the back door, scores! A couple of whacks at it. Great play by Kapustin. Slepyshev finishes it off. And it'll be a long skate to the bench for Boone Jenner.
The bad penalties, always the hardest ones to kill. Boone Jenner has some words for the rest of the way across. He should look at himself, but the play's made by Kapustin right here, dragging around Harrington, getting it across. Nice save from Bourgeois, but Sutter's got to go through Slepyshev. He's right down there to get his stick on the first attempt, but he's got to stay with the play and not give Slepyshev the second crack at it. Pretty good hands to get it up and over. The breakdown down low around the net on the penalty kill for Canada gives Russia another power play goal.
Third point of the series for Slepyshev. So Russia now 2 for 3 on the power play, and Canada once again down by a goal. Canada has never led in this game. It was 2-0, then it was 4-2, and they keep fighting back, but find themselves down a goal. Dumba takes one way, cup straight up the ice. Dumba chips this in. Game 4 in this series tomorrow. Dumba at the line. That's deflected wide, Lesio. Tight turns, Lesio trying to buy some space against Osipov. To Dumba. Takes one way, lets the wrist shot go, steered away by Makarov. And some room for Ketchup. Ketchup to the front of the net, and he ripped that one, and that just went wide as Big Kozov was fighting his way to the front of the goal. Lesio, watched by Sergeyev for Monahan. Back for Murphy, 3-point night for Murphy. Murphy circles to the front of the net, save, scramble, Makarov down as Monahan batted away at it, tried to take a kick at it. And Makarov will hold it.
Barely holding it because that puck was still loose with Sean Monahan battling in front of the net. This is how you work to stay loose. Push off, give yourself some space, take the hit from behind while still digging for that puck. That's well done by Sean Monahan, staying out of the crease, no penalty, no interference. Outworking his man by getting inside body position.
6'2", 195 pounds for Sean Monahan, and using that size to his advantage there. Monahan after it again with Nemenkov. Around the boards, and Shmelyev will send this out to center and bounce it back to the Canadian line. Murphy for Riley. For Monahan and back for Murphy with some speed into the Russian zone for Ryan Strome. Strome into the slot for Monahan, and he chipped it wide. Murphy for Riley. Deflected in front. Save, rebound. Monahan again. Got a kick at it and tried to get a stick on it. That puck bounces outside the line. A foot race now. Smelyev in a foot race there with Riley. Sharp angle cleared in behind the play. We had Monahan all tangled up with one of the Russian players who is down.
That was just incidental contact. I think that's Yarulin. And they're both looking at the puck behind the net and swinging across each other's line of sight. And Monahan and Yarulin both feeling the effects of that contact. You're not braced for a collision. You can see yourself head snap around and completely accidental. Both guys staring at the puck, just not aware that they're out there. You see Yarulin up on his feet, heading to the bench.
Appears to be all right. He was captain of the under-18 team in 2011 for Russia.
This is coming off wild shift in the offense zone. I think Ty Ratty on the back door wants that puck. He's giving the beaver tail right there. Look at him, right. And he just, Monahan shoots it high and wide, but it was a good offensive sequence as Canadians keep winning the race to loose pucks, getting inside the defense, going to the net. Makarov has been good. Although he's given up 4 goals, he has been good tonight.
Yes. He has been very good. And like Luke Sutter of Saskatoon, it could be a World Championship tournament, a Memorial Cup to the side of the net. Trying to jam that home was Jenner. And it's cleared all the way back into the Canadian zone. And Glosois will leave it behind his own net for Scott Harrington. Nope. For Boone Jenner. Jenner will drop it back. Turned over at center to Grigorenko. Grigorenko trying to cut around Udon. His centering pass grabbed off by Jenner. Jenner back with Deneau. Deneau with a little bit of room to the front of the net. And off the stick of Nesterov, and that almost caught the top corner. Shot from the line deflected in front. Canada back on the attack, down by a goal. Jenner looks for Udon. Jenner drops it at the line. Pellick through traffic. And Makarov got a right pad on that. And now Jenner gets taken down by Nesterov. Ceci a backhander through traffic and doesn't get through. Udon tied up and now touched on the far side and play whistle down. And a tripping penalty coming. So Canada back to the power play.
Russia was on their heels as one of their defenders had lost his stick. And Nesterov takes out Udon's feet. Easy tripping penalty. And you see the good and the bad for Mikhail Grigorenko. Look at the nice hands here to create some space. But he's got caught by 2 players. High risk play, turns it over. And it was off that turnover, that offensive sequence, resulting in the power play for Canada. And that's the extra step that Grigorenko's got to find in his game as he makes the transition to the professional ranks.
Canada 2 for 5 on the power play in this game tonight with 10 power play shots on goal. Scheifele trying to make it 11. That gets blocked by Sergeyev. To the back post. Huberdeau was there as Ratty tried to spin it to him. Picked off and cleared to the line, kept in by Murray. For Huberdeau, into the slot. Ryan Murphy looked for Ratty off that back post. Back for it. Ryan Murphy leaves for Scheifele. Scheifele will drop it back. Ryan Murphy, watched there by Romantsev. Russia with a shorthanded goal in this game. 2 shorthanded goals in the series. Huberdeau goes rink wide and finds Ryan Murphy. Came to the front of the net looking for Scheifele, and it was just beyond his reach. Murphy back in with Huberdeau. Nice move by Huberdeau. Back post. What a save by Makarov off of Ty Ratty. Morgan Riley skates it right in. Back post score! Jonathan Huberdeau. What a play by Riley. 5-5.
Huberdeau's been all over it tonight. Finally gets rewarded as Makarov's got a Nice down the groins. He's going post to post with all these opportunities. First time through is Huberdeau setting up Ratty on the back door, and then it's Morgan Riley. We saw him get involved in the offense. Look at Huberdeau. He wants that puck, gets inside it, and that's good strength. Osipov, Huberdeau both reaching for the puck. Huberdeau gets his hand a little bit lower. And Morgan Riley, the good wheels, good vision. And no chance for Makarov as Huberdeau a little stronger than Osipov in front of the net.
All Toronto Maple Leaf fans will be smiling at that play by Riley.
As they should, on his toes, jumping involved, and Huberdeau just created a backdoor chance. Dancing Osipov here, and he finds Ratty and makes an unbelievable save. Does Makarov, stays with it, pokes it loose to Riley, flows to the front of the net, gets underneath Osipov's stick, and ties the game at 5.
And Ratty's a 57 goal scorer in 69 games.
The guy you want pulling the trigger, but Makarov just beat him to the spot. And when you're that close to the goalie, it's so hard to get it up and over the pad without shooting it right over the net.
Well, the fans in Halifax have been entertained in a city that has been such a big part of international hockey. They are being entertained tonight. It's 5-5. But Canada has never had the lead. Ceci trying to work it down low and does. Gets it back. Ceci to the front of the net. Makarov the save. May have gone off the outside of the pipe. Romantsev. Monahan all over him for Lesio. Lesio tried to get it back to the line. That was blocked. So Ron Monahan has been a real factor in this game for Canada with some NHL scouts and some NHL GMs in this building. By the way, Canada winning today at the Holinka tournament by a score of 4-1 over Switzerland. Nathan McKinnon from Cole Harbour, a goal and 2 assists. Cleared into the center ice area, bouncing puck for Murray. He'll find Ryan Strome. Strome into the high slot for Deneau. Tried to spin it down low, and a good defensive read there by Grigorenko. He'll skate it into the Canadian zone, lets the wrist shot go wide. Harrington chops it off the boards for Udon. He's got a goal and an assist in this game, and trying to stay on side, but unable to do so was Deneau. Stay with us. We've got a 5-5 tie. Fun continues tomorrow night, the final game of this 4-game challenge between Canada and Russia, celebrating 40 years since the 72 series. And we have all the action here on TSN. 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific on TSN and TSN Mobile TV. It has been entertaining. Big hit. Deneau stepped into Nemenkov. That rattles the glass as icing is called.
That is coming hard on the forecheck. Deneau has a little word with Nomenko. He comes in after him there. Soft check, the tough spot to be here, Nomenkov. You know he's coming. You know you got to stick your nose in there. He does. Good play by Nomenkov to take the hit. Good clean hit from Deneau to make it. Both guys with a smile after the fact.
Philip Deneau, a Chicago draft pick, captain in Victoriaville, and was captain at the age of 17 in the queue. And some Chicago people in the building having a look at their draft pick. Nemenkov, now here comes Scheifele, and Scheifele gets a piece of him. Cleared to the boards by Kapustin and down the ice. They wave off the icing, and Dumba will go back. He'll drop it for Pelech. Adam Pelech puts on the brakes. Pelech will turn 18 on Saturday, so he has a birthday week coming up.
See
Russia still content to sit back in their trap. Canada's got to be patient, managing their puck properly through the neutral zone. Continue to get the puck in deep, get their forechecking going, get that physical play continuing below the goal line. And they've done a good job finding a way to create good offensive chances off the cycle in tonight's game. Let's just keeping it simple. getting pucks in deep. They worked on it the last 2 days in practice. Soft chips, forechecks, neutral zone play to create forechecks. That's what they're gonna have to do to close out this game.
Murray for Murphy. Snaps it up the middle, and Luke Sutter deflects it through. After it goes Kevin Waugh. What an offensive year he had in the USHL with Lincoln. Sutter, Wilson to the front of the net. And Romantsov got back, and maybe Kozak got back and just got a piece of Wilson's stick. Ketchup out of the Ukraine, sends it back looking for Kozak, away from him. On the far side, Kevin Waugh blows a tire and falls, but it is cleared ahead for Luke Sutter. He'll come rink wide for Wilson. Thomas Wilson, the wrister to the short side, steered away by Makarov. Ketchup. Laterally across the line, Sigarev trying to drag it around. Wilson goes down and blocks it. Canada regrouping. Here comes Ryan Strome, gathering some speed. Quick wrist shot off the stick. Rebound, scramble. What a chance for Monahan. And Makarov got a piece of that. Sigarev back for Russia, and he whipped the wrist shot wide. Strome knocked away from him. Sigarev, who opened the scoring in this game, trying to get that return pass, but can't. And it's cleared. Sergeyev. Ratty is after him. Gets it out at center ice, taken there by Doklebov. He turns it over. Riley back in, and the wrist shot goes off Sergeyev and out of play.
Good chance for Sean Monahan, who's had a productive game. Those guys, the puck just kind of finds it on his stick. Crazy rebound off a Strome miss, and Makarov does a good job getting across, establishing his position as Monahan tries to go back across the grain up high. Big scorer, 78 points, only 62 games in Oshawa this year. He knows how to find the back of the net.
Yarulin, as we near the midway mark of the period, turned over. Jenner off a skate, diving play there by Makarov, and he may have got enough of it to keep it out. Grigorenko against Harrington. Cleared up the boards, and Canada back on the attack was Jenner. Udon heads to the net, so does Deneau! And that may have gone out Nesterov and just wide. Deneau to Harrington, shot stopped there by Makarov. Slobin, game winner in the Memorial Cup for Shawinigan. Slobin for Grigorenko. Poke checked at the line. Slobin almost busted his way through. And it's back out at center for Vasilevsky. Back for Diakov. Russia regrouping. Diakov. Shots in this period favoring Canada 8-4. Make that 8-5. As the wrister from the far side into the catching glove, Laurent Brossoit off the stick of Kapustin.
Canada keeping things simple on the offensive end. 3-on-2 with a back checker. Deneau and Udon, they don't try to slow down, look for a one-timer pull up. Both of them head down, we're going to the net. No one's looking to pull up. Stack the screen and pursue the loose puck. That's been Canada's mentality in this game, demonstrated by those two guys who've had both of them strong games.
Canada was down 3-2 after one. We were tied 4-4 after two. Each team with a goal here in the third. Huberdeau, who tied the game on a power play. For Deneau. Deneau walks in. Huberdeau. And Deneau crashed the net, and Deneau with the chance. In the corner for Diakov, Lesio, who was shaken up in the second period, tries to work it free and does. Deneau pinned to the boards by Vasilevsky, and Kapustin has the loose puck. Tried to get it to Prohorkin, but it was in behind him. Riley snaps this ahead, and Sutter deflects it in. Murphy, he has had a strong game.
His kind of game, 5-5, chances and mistakes. He's good at capitalizing on any mistake the Russians make.
Coach Steve Spotts said he has to be an offensive threat. And boy, he has been more than a threat tonight. He's been an offensive leader with 3 points.
Steve Spot knows that, given that Ryan Murphy plays for him in Kitchener. He can't ask Ryan Murphy to become a shutdown defender, play it safe and not join the rush. Play to his strength, and that means being aggressive, faking offense.
Sutter for Murphy. Away from him, and Wilson will carry on. Romanza. Out of Yaroslavl, leads the attack, and Kozov rips that one from the far side. The Florida draft pick. Missed the target, but not by much. Kachev sends it back into the Canadian end of the ice. Ryan Murphy will put on the brakes as both teams start a line change, and you wonder, with all the travel since game 2 of this series, if fatigue may not be a factor here in the final 7.5, and we may have more than just 7.5. Some back pressure coming from Ryan Murphy. Pelech lets the netminder Brossoit play it, and here comes Strome. Gets to center, in behind Monahan. Vasilevsky will send this back into the Canadian end, and Big Pelech will go back. With Sigarev after him, they tie each other up. Ceci trying to tie his man up on the far side, does. Kept it at the blue line, though. And that shot from the blue line by Sergeyev goes off a stick and wide. Taken by Pelech. Off the glass, it bounces to center. Taken now by Ty Ratty. And Ratty gets squeezed out by Nemenkov. Around for Shepliev. He'll start out slowly. Shmeliev with a little bit of room. Shmeliev wide on Murray. Tried to jam it in the short side, could not. In the high slot, Yarulin. And a save, rebound, score! Sigarev, his second of the night, and Russia once again has the lead.
Sigarev pouncing on a loose puck in front of Laurent Brossoit. It's Yarulin jumping up in the play, catching the Canadian winger, sleeping on the ball, and a good job tracking that loose puck and tucking it right into the corner from Sigarev. He just beats Monahan in the front of the net. The other Canadian defender as well.
You talk about the 72 series, I don't think we saw that kind of emotion from the Russian players in the 72 Summit Series.
A little more demonstrative now, and we've seen it throughout the night. They're enjoying their underdog role, enjoying being on the road and having some fun with it. They are young men, and Canada keeps working back to tie it, but cannot find a way to edge themselves in front.
One of those games where you feel if Canada could ever get the lead, they might be okay, but so far they've been unable to do that. Give Russia credit. They keep fighting back. Every time they give up the lead, they find a way to get it back. Udon into the slot. Shot by Murray goes wide. Deflected just past that far post. Deneau trying to work it back out front, could not. And back through center. Bouncing puck. Trying to catch up to it was Yakupov, but unable to do so. Udon back with Jenner. Jenner heads to the net. Harrington tried to get it there, could not. And a lead pass for Yakupov, one-on-one against Pelech. Pelech stays with him, and Shifley back down low to help out. Pelech quick up for Udon. Udon in with Shifley. Tried to drop it for Shifley, could not. Kept in by Huberdeau. Huberdeau dances away from Osipov and Diakov. Back to the line for Dumba. Traffic in front. Dumba shot. Makarov steers that away. Out of the reach of Huberdeau. And Wu just putting on the brakes through center with Slepyshev as Lesio had him lined up.
Did he ever? Lesio might have pulled up. Slepyshev saw him just in time.
Diakov couldn't clear, and now it will be batted down the ice. And this is going to be an icing call against Russia with under 5 now in regulation.
Spot trying to rally his troops. And this Huberdeau tying up Slepyshev. He barely sees Lesio coming until the last minute, and he bails on that one wisely. You don't want to keep skating into that line, as Lesio is a big boy, 6'1", 200 pounds, fresh off the bench for the head of steam.
Brooke Horkin, the draft pick of the LA Kings, out to take the face-off, but doesn't win it. Cross ice for Strome. and it bounced over his stick. What a play down low. Monahan gets it away from him, out to center ice, taken by Slepyshev. Boy, Ty Ratty's a guy, he's had so many chances. Here comes Slepyshev, lets the wrist shot go, that's high. Near side for Ratty, couldn't get a stick on it. Ryan Murphy knocked his man down. Strome trying to jam it up the boards. Kept in though by Kozak. Ryan Murphy tries to get it ahead for Ratty and does. Ratty, the St. Louis draft pick, lets the wrist shot go. And Andre Makarov the save, and he will hang on to it. So a 5-5 tie gets broken by Sugarev. We'll be right back. Well, they've been entertained, and Mike, right now I would think that they're maybe wanting a little more than 60 minutes of hockey, especially with Canada down by 1 right now.
It's going to be fun to watch the last few minutes because game 1, I guess, late Canada had to hold on, but really we haven't had an extended period of close action in this series to date.
Good Canada tie, and we go to extra time as Udon lets the wrist shot go. It was blocked. It'll be 5 minutes of 4-on-4. Romantsev gets to center, does the same thing, just sends it in deep. Brossoit plays it for Harrington. He'll bank it off the boards for Udon. Stopped at the Russian line. Right back in for Sergei Shmelyev. Udon down low, butts into Shmelyev. And it's taken by Murray. Ryan Murray chips it in. Boone Jenner goes after it. Jenner in the corner, tied up. Jenner continues the battle. Matt Dumba in from the line. Dumba to the front of the net off a skate wide. Cleared and slapped all the way down the boards and down the ice break for Duckley-Bob. And Brossoit will play it for Dumba. Dumba having trouble with a rolling puck. Shmelyev back for Sugarev, looking for 3, but he couldn't get a handle on it. Yarulin slap shot. That's blocked in front. Scheifele takes that one. Back for Jonathan Huberdeau. Wrist shot. Blocker saved by Makarov. Big hit as Pelech jumps down low. Cleared along the boards. Dodging a check there was for Duckley-Bob. It gets out to center. Huberdeau. Almost too many men on the ice for Russia. Time becoming a factor in this game. Odd man rush, Lesio with Huberdeau. Lesio, Huberdeau, bouncing puck, and neither could get a clean shot on Makarov. Grigorenko for Yakupov. His shot doesn't get through, and back comes Ryan Murphy. He'll wind his way in for Monahan. Slap shot wide. Sloman plays it back into Minkoff there to flip it back to the line. Strome for Ryan Murphy. We'll see lots of Ryan Murphy here the last couple of minutes. Here comes Strome into the slot. Lesio! Big save by Makarov off of Lucas Lesio. Point blank. Sergeyev. Monahan trying to squeeze him out and does. Puck along the boards. We'll keep an eye on Brossoit. Loman, wrist shot, Brossoit the save, steers it away, and Riley plays it up the boards. In on the forward check, Ratty, cleared away from him and Vasilevsky. Ahead for Kapustin. Kirill Kapustin coming off the hat-trick game, turns it over as he rides the tight curve. There goes the netminder. Here comes Scheifele. Sharp angle chance, and that doesn't get through. Kapustin tried to clear, and this is batted down the ice at the empty net and wide, and icing will be the call.
Russia trying to close out this game, but it's not like they've been that careful with the puck. Here's Lesio, slid a little bump on Slopin, gets Strome wide, and he's got a great look, and that's a fantastic save by Makarov, and then Nesterov. This is just, you're up a goal, 2 minutes left, and you give that one away. Lesio clean in on a 2-on-1. Almost finds Huberdeau backdoor. And these are young men. They're prone to mistakes and wanting to think offense. Russia guilty a couple times in the last couple of minutes. And timeout now has been called with under a minute. Offensive zone face-off. And you see the Team Canada drawing up a play, knowing what you're going to do offensively. Also, if you lose the face-off, what you're going to do. And these are the kind of situations that new teams, they're not that familiar with each other. On an existing team that you play for all year long, you barely even have to bring the chalkboard out. You have plays, you know your personnel, what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go. But right now, these guys are trying to absorb all of this right now and then execute it momentarily.
Well, offensively for Canada, maybe some of the magic that Winnipeg Jets fans saw from Mark Scheifele in last year's preseason when he had 8 points in 5 games. Defensively, Russia drawing it up. Mikhail Varnakov has his guys over at the bench.
Interesting to see Ryan Strome, a righty, taking a face-off on what would be considered his weaker side and not putting a lefty in there to take the draw.
Scheifele, Strome, Monahan, Huberdeau, Murphy, and Murray. Slap shot, Murray, pad save by Makarov, and Slepyshev slips it down the boards and out of harm's way. Murphy charges in with some speed. Great defensive play there by Prohorkin to break that up at center. Strome back in. Scheifele is after it. Scheifele and Yarulin around the boards for Ryan Murphy. Spin around by Murphy trying to get away from Kozak. In for Huberdeau, for Strome. To the line to Murphy. Shot through traffic. That goes high. Time running out. And this is cleared down the ice. It will be icing. And 10.7.
Decision time for Russia and their decision made. You want to give both groups a chance to rest? Well, they clearly do. Russia calling their timeout once they get the referee's attention. Yeah.
Again, game 4 in this series. Tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. We are on the air here on TSN. This has been a terrific series. Canada winning the first game, Russia winning game 2, and Russia with a 6-5 lead in what has been an absolute thriller here in Halifax in game 3.
Prohorkin took the last face-off, and he got roasted cleanly by Ryan Strome. You got to dig in a little stronger than that to close out a game. You're not just flicking your stick at that thing. Lean on it, at least tie it up, get a scrum situation. And again, it's going to be Philip Deneau on his perceived weaker side. Maybe the forehand trying to push it to the boards as Russia stacking the middle of the ice, leaving the boards open.
Ryan Murphy poised high in the slot. Huberdeau the cross ice, and that's skipped away. Ryan Murphy, one last chance, and that's kicked away by Nesterov in front of the net. And Russia hangs on for a 6-5 win and takes a 2-1 lead in this series. Game 4 is tomorrow. Sigarev started the scoring in this game, and he ended the scoring in this game with what turned out to be the game winner. We're back to Halifax after this.
Sigarev's winner for Russia, 6-5 in Game 3 as they lead the series 2-1, despite the fact Canada outshot Russia 42-27 in this contest.
You know, for Team Canada, though, when you fall behind, it's a recipe for disaster. It wasn't disaster. They found a way to get back into the game. You like their pluck. But Kirill Kapustin has been a real factor in games 2 and 3, and a big reason why Russia has won 2 of the 3 games.
Well, it certainly was an entertaining match here in Halifax tonight. It's been fun for the fans, and no doubt they'll be treated to another great matchup tomorrow night when the series concludes. Game 4 here from the Metro Center in Halifax. We're on the air 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific with our pregame show. 11 goals between the two teams tonight, but it is Russia that comes out on top with a 6-5 victory. For all of us, thanks for watching. This has been a presentation of TSN, Canada's sports leader, and Sports Center starts now.